Chill, bro. We are back. Silver again. Before we started recording, we were talking about just people complaining, right? You know, I think Gary Vee always talks about it, one of the things they're talking about. You know that guy you told me about, like a really like outgoing business guy, black guy who talks loud, like he's like a motivation speaker. I think you showed me
a couple.
he always wears a hat.
Like a baseball?
Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, so they're talking, and they're like, yo, you know what pisses me off so much? It's like a guy saying, yo, why do you wake up so early? Like, Gary Vee's like, that is already a sign that you're not ready. Okay, you're not ready to win. You're not ready to commit. You know? So like, people are just complaining that they're not making enough money, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's, like, what have you done to deserve that? You know? Like, I was talking to even one of my friends who's, you know, working for a corporate company, and he's a manager, and, you know, and he's kind of young for his position, and people under him are, like, a lot older, like 40s and 50s, and they're like, blah, 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 you're too young for this job, like, I should have your manager position. And he's like, yeah, what have you done to deserve my job? And they have nothing to say, right? So, you know, people bitching and moaning and stuff, but just, you gotta put the effort in. I'm not saying I'm doing all this work. I'm not doing 18 hours a week like Gary Vee and other superior dudes, but that's not what I'm looking to do.
Right. It's, I mean, like, again, I don't want to drop names now that we're, talking about it. But, you know, if you have a certain workload and, that's a minimal workload, you're not bringing in a ton, but it aligns with, like, your work-life balance, and you're happy with it, you don't complain about it, even though, maybe financially it's not awesome, cool, whatever. But if you're in that same boat and you're just sitting there, like, complaining and bitching about, oh, I don't have enough clients, or how come I'm not getting any leads, or whatever, like, that's just kind of how this industry is.
Yeah. But that's how life is.
Either put yourself out there and just market better, or get better at your job so people want to come work with you.
Just having a realistic goal. Like, you can't just say, oh, I want to make $1 million. Oh, I want to make $1 billion. Like, you gotta, if you want to make that money, you gotta put in that work, right? You gotta have all the necessary requirements of, like, marketing. Marketing, the biggest thing I learned is marketing, it's all time. It's not skill. I guess some, like, salespeople or some people are better, but marketing, if you put in the hour, you'll get better at marketing, and you pick up people, clients. Like, it's like literally taking an hour a day to pass out flyers, taking an hour a day to visit some location and just do some guerrilla marketing. It's just time.
Guerrilla marketing.
And that's what people, I would think is a common sense thing, but they don't see it as a common sense. It's mind-boggling.
Big ass poster of, like, Gary Vee and, like a pose like this, and just hustle right on the front of it.
Yeah.
Plaster it on the locker.
Yeah, like, what's, I understand people might have different terminology, different translation of what hustle means, but that's something you need to learn what hustle is. And actually, that's a pretty good transition. Like we're talking about, like, some people's hustle is like here, and some people's hustle is like here.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think it's hard to just like, all right, wake up today and I'm going to decide to hustle. Like you said, people don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something, or maybe it is, but for me at least, like, hustle was something you had to learn because you had to. Like, so my first year in grad school, I think I might have told you this already, but in Colorado, my first time away from home, poorly and had like $15 to last me like 10 days till the next time I was getting paid, and I had to pay rent. And I was just like, I just can't do this. And I refused to ask my parents for money. So I went on Craigslist, and there was these sketchy like ad listings. And one of them was this guy that in the like spring and summer months he was a landscaping guy, but in the winter months he turned into like snow shoveling, like plowing and stuff. So he came and picked me up 4 days that week. I didn't go to class that week.
And
But now I know.
maybe it's an innate character that you knew what hustle was and you figured it out there.
Well, like for me now, like I don't have that type of urgency. Like I have enough money to eat and where you have to do it for your well-being, for your livelihood. Well, maybe not everyone needs that, but I don't know.
So I think like
that was what
I don't
needed.
you know, the thought process I just had is kind of deeper than what this conversation was. But like, you know, how we talk about even in health and nutrition, it's like everything in moderation. So people want people to kind of stay in this middle zone. Like you don't want to go extreme of one way or the other way. But however, when with like our lifestyle and like our skill set and like character, like I think there's times where you need to be in an extreme also. Like where you're at, like to pay your bill, you had to experience that full-on hustle.
Yeah.
Right? So you had to do that to pay the bill. And now, you know, maybe that was too much. You learn from it, so you don't want to be all the way there. But that's where you kind of find the balance point, right? The same thing, like people are like, some people are so comfortable in this middle gray area. They don't know the extremes. And sometimes knowing the extremes is life changing.
And like, I correlate this to like training. Because say for instance, like basketball. Every time I go for a rebound, getting into like a quarter squat and jumping all the way up, that's my usable range. Maybe I'm sitting in a defensive stance and I'm like closer to parallel-ish or whatever. But if I'm like back squatting, like I should know how to bury a back squat. Like, I should have that range accessible to me. Central nervous system right now, just getting into training, like if I never touch that range, my body associates that end range with danger.
Yeah.
So, if I do, for whatever reason, have to land, get it coming down from a rebound, if I have to land in a deep squat, but I've never been there before, I break. Like, you tear something, you pull something, you roll an ankle, you're out of position. But if my body knows that range isn't foreign to me, then I can be there safely if and when it happens to happen. Maybe it never gets there.
Yeah.
But I know that range, and my body is able to handle it if it comes along.
Yeah.
So if I get punched in the mouth again with finances, like I know what hustle feels like. So I'm not gonna be afraid of it. I'll be able to have a plan of attack.
Yeah.
So you can kind of you can just make parallels.
Everything, man.
Everything.
Yeah. So just feed off of from the training part. I have some other things I want to say about training wise. I think my view on training, I think is kind of parallels with what your training philosophy is. Like that's why when we do general strength phase, a lot of the training we'll do end range training, squats, ass to grass squats, right? Exactly. If your shoulders able,
pull-ups,
pull-ups,
full range, dead hang, like.
Exactly, and then we will add some part like segmented lifting type of things because say the weakest link is the top part, weakest link is the bottom part, and we will hit that, just that part. But the overall staple of the training should be the end range training, right? And I know some people talk about, oh, people shouldn't do ass to grass squats, and blah blah blah. Bench press shouldn't be all the way down. Like, if the person's able to do that, go through that.
Yeah.
Look at a baby. They have a beautiful squat. L babies have beautiful squats.
That's a whole other can of worms we can get
so
into.
So we'll get into that later. But another thing I want to talk about, and this was actually one of the topics that we're going to get into, is wellness meter. So we were just talking about the extreme of black, white, and gray area, whatever you want to call it, and so we talked about like hustle is here, and people don't know what the hustle means, so they're kind of staying in this middle ground, right? That can translate directly into health. So we can kind of look at over here as the optimal wellness. This is like fully optimization functioning human body. You wake up every day, no stiffness, wake up without an alarm clock, 8 hours of sleep, boom, healthy breakfast, full energy all day, sun goes down, boom, you go to bed. Right? That's killing it. Now the other end, right here, is death. Mobility, right there. Okay, so that's that wellness meter right there. So so it goes from healthy, and say right here is where kind of you're starting to have some pain, symptoms, and whatnot. And so, say you get an injury, you pull your hamstring, whatever it is, there's the symptoms, and you start going down. And what? You go to a doctor, you go to physical therapy, you take medication, whatever it is, boom. You want to improve that. So you improve, boom, you get to the symptom part again, but now you pass it, so now there's no symptom. And then you stop. You're here. You're not here. So what are you doing? You're missing all this. Right? And honestly, a lot of people don't know what this is, because you're eating McDonald's every day since you were born, right? You're sitting on your couch all day watching TV, iPhone, iPad, whatever it is, right? So your body just trained to be here and just going back and forth here, right? Do you want to live like that? I don't want to live like that. I want to be here.
Just constantly floating between 40% and like 70%.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't know what that feeling is. And as a health professional, I want people to experience this, and so that even when they get hurt, they know where they need to be. Even if they stop taking medication, they're only here. They need to get that 100% optimal performing self, right?
So like that little gap that David's talking about, I don't have that type of mobility, but the remaining portion that the middle dwellers don't know about, that's where the details come into play. That's where the difference between 6 hours and 8 hours, the difference between 3 cups of water a day and getting a couple liters a day. That's the difference between being conscious of energy balance, calories, and macronutrients. And those details are what set you over the edge between that middle ground where you're like, okay, like, there's nothing wrong with you, but you're not great either. So that kind of brings me to a point, right? And we talked about it the other day. One of the high-end great performance coaches, and he's kind of known for developing speed and power, based in Denver, Lauren Landau. I listened to him speak at I think it was an NSCA seminar once, and he said something that just instantly just got buy-in from the entire room. So his story, I can actually see the...
Oh yeah, we actually have a stop. Let's see how fast you can do it.
Yeah, right. So he had this analogy, and he has a camp of 20, 30 football players all getting prepped for the NFL Combine. So say he's got the defensive backs and the receivers in one day. So inevitably in a group of high-end football players, you're going to get some guys that are on the fast end of 40-yard dashers. So there's going to be some 4.6s, 4.5s, 4.4s.
Yeah. So for people who might not be familiar with what the NFL record is, like 4.2.
4.24. Chris Johnson ran a
4.24 is fast, really fast,
crazy fast.
4.5 is accepted as like the cutoff line of like fast and
like
decent.
Sub 4.5, depending on who you are, like you're fast.
Yeah.
Like a 4.48, you're fast.
Yes.
You know, like so. Background: if I'm a wide receiver and you run a 4.47, that's a pretty fast receiver.
Pretty good.
You take
Not
that,
great though.
You take that up to like a 4.6, so 0.13 seconds. You know that's.
Now you're considered slow.
You know, he has a room full of football players, some at 4.4, 4.5, 4.6. So he picks a kid that runs a 4.4. Room agrees that's real fast. So he goes around and says, all right, so you're a 4.4, you know, maybe you're first round pick. He says, all right, what if I told you you were, something happened and now you're a 4.6? Would everyone agree that's still fast? He's like, no, that's slow. 4.6 is slow. So he hands the kid a stopwatch and he says, all right, start and stop it as fast as you can. I'm gonna do that right now. That was a bad one.
That was a bad one.
That was a bad one. That was real slow. Okay. You see it. That's a 0.21.
Yep, it looks like a 5 here, but yeah, it's 0.21.
21 hundredths of a second. So that, he does it for the whole room. He says that right there, that's the difference between fast and slow. And from there, he just has a bunch of blank stares looking at him, puts the stopwatch up, and he says, this is why the details matter. That click, click is the difference between a first round pick making, you know,
whatever
$2 million his first year, and a 5th round pick or a 4th round pick
maybe making the team.
Possibly not making the team. That instant buy-in from the whole room. So from then on, they go through their training camp weeks. They're locked in for every single warm-up drill, every single mobility exercise, every single core exercise. Their footwork is perfect, and they're just completely bought in because he just showed in a very real, tangible sense for them, for their profession, that 0.2 of a second, like, is a make or break. For better or for worse, that's kind of a stupid idea that, a 4.6 means you're not a good football player. But anyways, it does. It matters for draft stock. If a guy runs a 4.6 when everyone thought he was fast, or a 4.4, he drops. That's millions of dollars lost. So, in that sense, professionally, athletically, details matter, but it also applies to the health of making sure every single box is always ticked off. Sleep, hydration, macronutrients, energy balance, micronutrients, especially if you're like a physique athlete, salt balance, water retention, nutrient timing, pre-post workout, making sure that your hormonal fluctuations are exactly where you want them to be.
Yeah.
All those things matter if you're planning on operating on this high end of the health.
So what I think what we're trying to say with that is that we're gonna bring that philosophy to point B. That's the only way to get from point A to point B is that attention to detail, and that's gonna create that shortest route from your starting point to the end point. But we do completely understand that having that mentality 100% of the time is almost impossible. Right.
But it becomes a lot more doable with a plan.
Yes.
And that's where I think we can kind of come in and bridge the gap and keep our clients on a steady path.
Okay, you guys are ready.
Thank you.
And I think it's doable if you have people that are on the same page, having a community behind your back that are lifting up together, right? So, and that was kind of the perfect summary of our vision for Point B, you know, and I mean some of the things we talked about earlier all kind of integrate into the conversation we had today. You know, talking about the wellness meter, talking about the you know, attention to detail, and you know, hopefully now you kind of see where we're coming from, and you know, kind of, you know, take that journey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, man. I think I'm ready for a nap, actually. Yeah. My brother came in last night at like midnight, so went right to work this morning and had our usual Friday breakfast. No clients
So
tonight.
he's not functioning here right now.
I'm over
He's over here right now.
there.
Yeah. So he's trying to get back to here. Right.
So we take a long nap, go deadlift my face off.
Yep, we will be deadlifting. Actually, we will be recording that today as well. You know, so be ready to hustle. If not, don't complain.
Just put up a Gary Vee video. Just
We will
commentate over it.
focus on, pay attention to the details. Try to reach that optimal health, right? Don't stay around here. Don't be satisfied with that. If you are, that's fine. But I think everybody wants to be healthy as possible. You know, try to get there. If you need help, we're here. Boom.
We'll be out.
Point B out.